Greetings, everyone. Now we're going to see the third chapter of the new driver's handbook, which is called Road Coexistence, the importance of the relationship with other drivers. About the road coexistence, it says in order to have a good and true road coexistence among vehicle drivers, pedestrians, passengers of other cars, etc., where individual rights as well as those of others are respected and consistent, it is essential that all road actors have an appropriate level of road education. So, road education and road safety. Road education is much more than just learning the rules of conduct, the traffic laws, for example, or recognizing numerous road signs that affect traffic. It goes further than observing speed limits or complying with the requirements of wearing a seatbelt. Road education is defined as acquiring values in order to achieve a better coexistence. Values such as respect, respecting your life, respecting the life of others, solidarity, understanding, forgiveness, and tolerance are essential to driving. Road education favors and promotes road coexistence. Some of the main goals of road safety is the total elimination of traffic accidents, starting with their reduction and lessening of their consequences. For this to occur, the road user must have an appropriate and accurate perception of risks. Most drivers' risk perception tends to underestimate real risks, leading drivers to even believe that there are no risks in situations which they are. A risk that is not perceived does not exist. You must know that while you drive a vehicle, you are at risk, and that any inappropriate behavior under these circumstances could put your life and others at risk. So, the biggest risk when driving a vehicle are inexperience, recklessness driving, and lack of driver's education and compromise with road safety. The country's vehicle fleet has grown continuously during these last years, including more technologically advanced vehicles as well. So consequently, there has been an increased number of accidents. To fight this growth in traffic accidents, everyone's cooperation is needed. First, you must remove from your mind the idea that traffic accidents are just something that happens to other people. No, because the 90% of traffic accidents with victims are results of human errors, mistakes made by different drivers with a false perception of risk. So that is mandatory for you to respect in the different environments of driving. Accidents in their majority are not accidental in nature. A shift in mindset is needed to be more aware, to develop an objective risk perception, and realizing that the majority of accidents can be avoided. To practice safe and responsible vehicle driving and to reduce likelihood of having a traffic accidents whenever possible, all risk factors must be eliminated. For example, you have here some risk factors: distractions, cause for other accidents, drugs abuse, alcohol consumption because they reduce the ability to drive, inappropriate speed present in a quarter part of all accidents with victims, fatigue, tiredness, sleepiness, somnolence, about medication as well. It could harm your life. In terms of road coexistence as well, many times to brag of their abilities at the wheel, drivers are not aware of the risk they expose others in the roads, doing these reckless actions such as driving above the speed limit, overtaking in areas where it is prohibited, or not respecting road signs, etc. As well, by not respecting a red light or a pedestrian crossing road sign, drivers are not only infringing traffic laws, but they are also attempting against road coexistence, putting themselves at risk as well as other road users. These kinds of misbehaviors attempt against orderly coexistence in traffic and against the trust principle that inspires it, where all drivers respect each other. Participants in driving comply with their role, which is to respect the rules of road coexistence and conduct. Be aware that these actions or infringements do not go unpunished. Even if you think, great, no one saw me and nothing happened, You can also be fined and be sanctioned by the law. These incidents do repeat themselves and end up timing into accidents where something does happen. A driver's reckless behavior ends up having consequences for the own driver and unfortunately, most likely for others as well. A person who goes through a red light is not ignorant of the meaning of regulation for that red light and knows what sanctions would have as a consequence if a police saw it. There isn't, in this case, ignorance of the existing regulations. There is a will to disobey them, a resistance to comply with laws, and some disregard for other road users that move around the same area. Education gives us the knowledge about the laws and rules of behavior that every important person needs when moving through the different roads, streets, or highways. But the most important thing is education instills values, tries to inculcate habits and positive attitudes towards coexistence, quality of life, environmental quality, and road safety. Road education is essential in people's social and individual education. Since we will be pedestrians, vehicle users, or drivers at some point of our lives, it is important to know that road education is necessary to coexist in an orderly and respectful manner with others and in a kind and positive, fair environment. About the road environment. When thinking about traffic, images, or highways, streets and vehicles come to mind. Nonetheless, in these vehicle travels and are also driven by people, the streets and highways are used by people, and these people are actually traffic. All of us are traffic. We move through roads jointly with others, and for that mobility to be orderly, safe, and not cause accidents, there are rules that must be followed and that are supported on a series of principles, such as the trust principle. Without this principle, nobody could go out on the streets. If there was no trust that others will do their part, no one will dare to drive a car. When moving, it is expected that others will respect their traffic direction and not occupy someone else's, that they will respect traffic lights, yield when appropriate, etc. So road environment has to be respected as well, because road coexistence demands a compromise with road education, a compromise with others, and a compromise with ourselves. Drivers must be aware that they are just another participant of traffic itself, along with pedestrians and cyclists that are more vulnerable users. The roads on which vehicles go create the road environment. But this road environment is much more than just the streets or highways on which cars are riding. The road environment is a space of social coexistence, an environment in which people develop their behavior as human beings. So, to be precautious is fundamental for driving a vehicle. One must be conscious and accept that anybody could wrong and make a mistake. So, one must be alert in case those mistakes happen. Preventive and defensive driving must be practiced in order to guarantee our safety. Your driving attitude must be respectful toward others and yourself. Even if others make wrong decisions, you must be prepared for that. You must drive with a safe, responsible, and calm manner that will help you drive better. Finally, solidarity is the best virtue you can practice while driving. The motivation of helping others and not seeing the rest of drivers as competitors is key. Some other keys to road coexistence. For example, when you have to drive, do not turn the occasion into a moment for annoyance or angst. Drive safely, protect yourself, use your seatbelt, make sure that those accompanying you also use it, regardless of the position that they are sitting. You must always drive at an appropriate speed. Keep a safe speed that will allow you to react on time at any unseen event. Your rush must not put your life or the life of others at risk. Take all the time that is necessary to drive. Adapt your driving to weather, environmental, and pavement conditions. Keep a sufficient and safe distance with other vehicles and road users. Do not trust that other drivers have noticed your presence. Drive defensively. Get noticed all the time. Always respect traffic regulations and learn their meaning. Keep your vehicle in perfect working order. Focus only on driving, mainly on driving. Drive only if you are in a good physical and mental condition. If you feel a headache, if you are not ready to drive, it's better not to drive. Be considerate and kind to other road users, and always remember to see and be seen. Prevention will always be your main defense. And with this, we end the third chapter, which is called Road Coexistence. And in the next video, we're going to see individuals in traffic. See you.